Recording. Let me share my lab system. Right. Right. So let me go to this Object Explorer here and connect to the database engine. So we have got the server and authentication, Windows authentication and encryption mandatory. Trust server side, click on connect here. Go to the databases here. So take this BI 2801 2025. Click on this new query here. So what we'll talk is, so we have done yesterday we have done the conditional statements and so we have talked about conditional statements and we spoke about case statement and we spoke about the loop while loop, right? That was on yesterday's session. So we have talked in detail how does that work. We were taking some marks of the students and we have done that, right? Whether we has passed or first division, second, or just pass or third division. We have done that example. And case, we were taking some table which has got column as sex as F and M. So we want to represent it in case of F as a female and male in case of M. That is what we have done. Right. Let's go to the new topic here, stored procedure. Stored procedures. So whatever till now we have done, right? So we have done something called DDL, that is data definition language. So yeah, language. So we have done some create, drop, alter, right? And we have done data manipulation. So something DML, data manipulation language. So that is create, uh, insert, not create, sorry, insert, update, delete, uh, truncate. So here you'll get the drop also here on data definition. And we have got DQL, that is data query language, that is select. We have done. So this all we have done. So what we'll do is we'll make use of all this in our stored procedures. So we make use of all these statements. So we were talking about, we spoke almost on T-SQL commands, right? So these all T-SQL commands, that is DDL, DML, DQL, right? We spoke on this. So these all comes under T-SQL commands. So we'll make use of all these commands in stored procedure. Okay. So what do you mean by stored procedure is it is a set of precompiled set of statements. Precompiled set of statements. So this is called as stored procedure. Simple. In simple term, in simple statement, stored procedure is a set of precompiled set of statements. What do you mean by precompiled? Okay, so we'll talk on that. What do you mean by precompiled here? Precompiled. What do you mean? The next one is stored procedure will take both input parameters and output parameters. So it will take both input parameters and output. Stored procedure will take stored procedure will take both input parameters and output parameters. We'll talk on that. So let's go with this. So first statement is it's precompiled set of statements. What do you mean by precompiled? We'll talk, and it takes both input and output parameter. Input means what we give. So when you say input parameters means the user will supply values to those parameters. When you say output parameters, so stored procedure will return values to user. So this is what input output. So that would be simple. Now coming to what is this precompiled, right? What do you mean precompiled? So whenever you write some insert into table, right? Insert into table values and you give some V1, V2, V3, or you create a table, create table underscore name, column 1, data type 1, right? Column 2, data type 2, column 3, column n, data type n. Like this you create. Similarly, you write the what do you say, update statement, update table, set column 1 is equal to value 1, column 2 is equal to value 2, where, right? We'll see you come something column 4 is equal to some value 4. Similarly, you write some delete from table where column 1 equal to value 1, right? So you write like this, you write these statements like this. These are T sequence. So every time you write here, every time you do some insert. So if you really want to insert 10 records, you would need to run that statement for 10 records, right? For individual records. So for first time you'll insert a employee record or a first employee record, then you'll insert second employee record, then insert third employee record, then fourth. So values would keep on changing. So similarly, you want to create table, you follow this. Then you go to the uh, update statement, then you go to delete. So this all you do every time. So what happens here is when I say precompiled, so before precompiled, so whenever you run right this one, right? So internally also we are working on SQL Server. So SQL Server engine will check whether that syntax is right or wrong. The insert statement that you wrote is right or wrong. And when you are trying to insert into that table, is that table is exists in the database or not? And the values that you are providing are sufficient to that number of columns that table is holding, right? So it is going to that check the syntax. Next thing is when you're creating a table, it will check whether the table is already existing or the syntax is correct or not. So it will check if at all you given any spelling mistake, then it will throw the error. So this one. And when you're creating a column, so data types are proper or not. And update. So when you're updating a table, it will check the syntax. So every time it will do a syntax check here. So SQL Server engine will do the checks here when you are doing it. When you are inserting, updating, deleting, truncating, alter, drop, whatever you do it here. Or as you select this, you select it, you select the data, whether if at all you give a column which is not present of that table, then it will throw the error. So every time it is checking whenever you insert a new record. So now what has Microsoft has done? So they have come with a new store processor. They have come with a concept called store processor here. right? It will come with a stored procedure. So what the stored procedure is do is that stored procedure will hold a set of statements. What statements? These are T-SQL statements. T-SQL commands here. It holds set of T-SQL statements here. That is, it will hold set of statement T-SQL commands. So that would have insert, update, delete, truncate, alter. These all it will hold. So what it does is when you are creating a stored procedure, when you create a stored procedure, right? And when you execute, so you are create a stored procedure. So it can contain thousands of lines also in that stored procedure. So while creating, so you start creating and you try to create. So you execute the stored procedure, execute the stored procedure. Then what happens is it is going to validate whether everything is proper or not. So this, how do you do it when you does insert, update, delete, truncate these all right individually. Now you are putting all the statements in stored procedure and you are trying to execute the stored procedure to create that. So it is going to validate whether that statements that you are right, you wrote in the stored procedure right or wrong. So once it is valid, so once it is valid, so it is going to create stored procedure. Otherwise, it will throw the error. Okay, that is So once it is created, stored procedure is created, you can use that stored procedure for any number of times. For any number of times here, you can use it. So it doesn't validate because it is already validated and created, right? Stored procedure. So it doesn't validate now because stored procedure has already created before, as after value it is created. Now you can make use of that stored procedure for any number of times here. Okay, right. Now let's go here. Right. Now let's go. Right. So syntax here, create procedure. Okay. Procedure name, open bracket, parameter, param1, data type, param2, data type here, paramian, data type, close this bracket. So here when you, so I've told Stopo that takes parameter. So parameter is, so takes parameter, parameter is of two types. So I've told here parameters, right? But at the rate and parameter name. So that should have at the rate here. And it's a parameter one. So whenever you are not declare after data type, you'll have, so you have input like this, output also, output. So here I have not, if at all you don't mention anything called input or output, it means it is input parameter. Okay. So now I'll go here. I'll put param n-1. So data type output, right? This is this one. So it's all up to you because you need not, if the parameter is input, you need not specify input. So you have declared as output here as begin, right? As begin. Now you will write T-SQL commands here. T-SQL commands. Okay. So you can go and write T-SQL commands here, statements. So here you have parameter, and that has got data type, parameter 2, data type, parameter n minus 1, data type, and type is output parameter, output. So you can define. Now you got. So you see here. This is how you define the stored poser. This is the syntax. And you can write any statement. So I told you, you can write a create table, you can write an insert statement, you can write a delete statement. So here you can write anything here. You can write insert, update, delete, create, truncate, drop, alter. Then you can write joining, joins also, join tables. You can do grouping, right? These all you can do it. You can go join the, so you generally, so I told you that whenever you have multiple tables, how do you get data? You join here, you do grouping. After joining also, you can do grouping. So these all you can do it. So you're putting all that statements in in a single entity called stored poser, right? Na? Then how do you execute this? This is all okay. How do you execute? So let's go here. I'll go to the second query window here. So what you do is, so here you're defining parameters, right? So for this parameters, you need to pass the value. So I'll go here. I'll declare iterate end, declare iterate name. So let me go here, right? Then some varchar 30 here, iterate sal decimal 18 comma 2. Then iterate department int here. Now I'll set a value for those. Iterate 1. Then set iterate name some a. Then set iterate sal 1 2 3 4 5 6. Set iterate department number 10 here. ठीक है ना? Let me remove this. So I've declared. Now, why we are creating this parameter, these variables and values? Because we need to pass to this stored poser. Assume like these all are input parameters only. We'll talk as after we complete input, we'll talk on output, but assume that you created a stored poser and you need to pass. Let's go there. ठीक है ना? Now come here. So use execute exec, or you can use execute also. No harm in this. So I'll use exec. Now give the name of the stored procedure, right? Now pass that value, parameter value, iterate ID, iterate name, iterate sal, iterate department number. So you're declaring this value variables here, and you're providing these values to this stored position. So other way is, it's not mandatory that you need to declare and set values and pass. You can do it other way like this also. Go to this, take this one. Okay. Now 1 year, give a right salary 1,000. Okay. Department in here, right now. So two ways: you declare a variable, declare variables, set values to that variables, and pass that variables to the store. This is one way of executing it. This is other way of executing. So you directly give values to that stored poser. Okay, this is a. So let's go and do it step by step. Will work, and right. Right, this is how you do the store posers and creating these all. Let's go. So where do you find the store poser then once you create it? So go to this database here. Go to this database. Click on here. So you have programmability, click on this. So here you got the stored process. So here, so you have system stored process. I told you. So system stored processes are those processes available by software system. So systems are one which are available by software once you have installed, but you will have user defined stored processes also that are part, right? So those are created by user. Okay, let's go here. Now come back. Let's go and create a small table. Okay, then we'll work on that. Create procedure. Sorry, we'll create a table first. Create table underscore sp. Okay, now I'll give id int, name varchar 20 year, sal decimal 18 comma 2, department number int year. Okay, now click on execute here. Right, you have got this. So you have executed. Now come back to the store. So you have created, right? So let's go and create a stored procedure in the next window. Create procedure. Okay, then sp underscore insert underscore employee varchar 30, sal decimal 18 comma 2, then department number int year. Okay, so I'm passing those values as begin end year. Okay, insert into. So now you see here, this is a table name. Take this table name. Taken. Now I'll not give values. Let's see while creating it will throw error or not. I'll just give bracket @id @name @sal @department number. Taken. Now if you execute here, so it is throwing error, right? So it will validate. So now just go here. I'll give values here. Now try to execute this. It has got created. Now go to this in database in programmability folders, stored process, refresh here. So you got this, right? dbo.sp underscore insert underscore employee. Click on here. So you'll have parameters. So we define these parameters in the store. Those parameters would be shown here. So there is no default value here, right? So you can see int that id int input type is input and no default. Next name varchar input no default. Sal decimal input no default. Department input department int input no default value. Right? Right. Now how do you do it? So let's go inserting data into the table. Now you see, so there are two ways, right? As we discussed, we can do it in two ways or you can directly. So let me take this stored procedure name right now. Now go here. I'll declare @id int @name. So four values, right? I'm giving here. @sal 18 comma 2 @department number int here, right? Set this value @id equal to 1 @id name, that is name, give a set @sal 1234.56 set @department number int 10 here, right? Now use exe store procedure name. Now pass that parameter. So right. So @id comma @name comma @sal comma @department number. Right. No? right? So now you execute this one row affected. Now go and select this data, select start from emp underscore sp here. Okay, I'll try to execute this table here. One, name a, sal, department number, right? Na? Similarly, you can go here, change this. So that is one way. So take this two, go here B, then change some salary here, right? Na? Then I'm going for department here. I'm executing this. I have not made any stored poser changes, and stored poser already created. Now try to execute this, right? Na? Right? So now go and see here. Select this data from the table. You have done. Now there is other way is, so you are creating variables and doing, no, we can do it other way also. Take this. Now give here, give, instead of ID, give 3. See here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 3, 0. Okay. Now try to execute here, right? Now try to select this data, right? Na? So you got data inserted, right? So one way is to declare variables and do it. Now what I want to do is, so we created table, right? We created table. So this table, go to this folder. So we have got this table, right? This was, so we are making use of this emp underscore sp table, right? So let's go there. So what I'll do here, so I'll take a new query window, right? So select this table. So go here, try to select this data. Okay, now try to execute here. You got it. Now I want to add a column commission. Alter table, right? Add commission. I'll give data type decimal, some 8 comma 2. So I'm adding a column now. Now try to execute this. Right now, is it right? I've done. Now go and do it. So now I want to make, because I have to add a column, I want to make that change in stored poser. So how do you do it? You are going to drop that. Are you going to drop this stored poser? No. So what you need to do is remove this one. Now go to sp underscore help underscore text. Give that stored poser name. Get that stored poser name here. Okay. Take this stored poser here. Now try to execute. So you got this text, right? Copy this, put it here. Now I want to make the changes in stored poser, right? So what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll use alter. Why alter? Because I want to make some changes in stored poser. So I'll go here, I'll add, so department, right? So I'll not make any changes in department. What I'll do is here, based on department number, I want to give commission. So if department number is equal to 10, okay, so I'll declare a variable here, that is commission here. Declare rate commission is equal commission decimal 8 comma 2. Okay, if begin, end year. So set commission is equal to salary into 10 by 100 if it is 10 department. Now, else if I'm making of this if conditions also. Department equal to 20. Begin, end year, right? Rate commission is equal to salary into 20 by 100. Else, other than 10 and 20, I want to set commission is equal to sal into 30. Right now, this is how I'll do it. Okay, now come down. Now take this. So take this commission column, put here after the department. So right now, I'm not changing anything. I'm not passing parameter. I want to take based on department number. So commission column, right now. Now, so I've made this in the insert statement also changes. I've got alter statement. Now try to execute this. You made changes. Now go back to your stored poser where you're passing value, right? So I'll not make use of this. We know how to do it, right? We know we have already done with 2 records. Now I'll just see with this employee 4, department employee D, the salary is, I'll give as, okay, then 10 department. Okay. Now let's execute this. Record got affected. Now go and select this data here. Did you get this commission? We wanted to go with 10 because department 10% of salary. Now I'll go with the second person, 5th employee, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then year 20%, 20, department number 20. Right? Now let's go. So you got, right? On this, because 20 department, 20%. I'll go with the other one. F here. I'll give something 14,000. 30. So 30%, right? This is what we have the logic in stored poser. Now try to execute 30%. Right now? So this is how you write programming. So whatever you have done in the first part of T-SQL, you will write those all in stored poser. So I've told you how do you pass a parameters, how to create a stored poser. After you, if at all you make changes, how you can modify, right? And how do you pass the values also in stored poser. Okay, na? Yes. So this is how you do it. So you can make this stored for inserting, updating, deleting, and for only selecting data also. You will do it. We will talk. Okay. Yeah. So just go through this. I thought of telling you few more also because tomorrow will not, because there would be few more pending also. Delete and update and select and output parameters. This would be pending. So we'll take it up in next session. So tomorrow and day after will not have session. I'll be out of station. So we'll connect again on Friday evening for Canada time and Saturday morning for India time. If required, if I come early on Friday morning my time and Thursday evening for you, I'll WhatsApp you so that you can be ready. I'll tell in advance, not in half an hour. I'll tell in advance by your morning time that I'll be available. Okay? Just go through this. It's very important stored poser. People ask you what is stored poser, how do you pass input? If there is a combination of input and output, how do you pass them? And how do you get that value? We'll talk on that. Okay. Right. Any doubts here before we wind up? No?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll wind up. So tomorrow and day after we'll not have session. We'll again connect on Friday evening your time, Saturday morning my time. If any change in the schedule, I'll know. But we'll definitely have on Friday evening your time, Saturday morning my time. If there is any schedule change regarding Friday morning my time and your Thursday evening, I'll definitely ping and inform you. Okay? Right. Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.